Hey, what's up, Vincent?
Hey, Brian.
How's it going?
Good. Wondering how can I stop this recording? I-
Oh, interesting. None of us are
yeah,
hosts.
unless you get the host, right? Okay, that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. Yes.
hey, Vincent. I'm gonna assign you president for now.
Yeah, of course.
Just for now.
For I mean the office confirmation, the office assignments.
I appointed Daniel, but I don't think he wants to do it. Oh no,
Sure.
it won't let me change it. Huh? It won't let me change it.
Brian, hey Benson, hey Sib, hey Jeff.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
Hey, Sib. Hey, Jeff.
hey,
No visit. Huh?
what happened? Wow, terrible.
Oops.
Oh,
It was.
I have to get a better book.
oh, like it's falling off the car, or the phone's falling off.
Yeah, I have a phone holder, which is pretty bad. I mean, stupid design. Anyway, this, the person is not an engineer or just make it up. And it really hard. I've been using like a three. I like to take free vitamin. That's why I want to spend 1 hour under the sunshine learning my Toastmaster.
Nice.
Enjoy, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
and spend like a
Getting,
3, 4 hours outdoor.
it's
hey
pretty
Daniel.
hot outside.
Yeah, it's getting hotter.
3, 4 hours. Who is going to speak today?
Uh, both speak spots are open today, so if you volunteer for impromptu speech, I can fill in.
Right. I'm going to volunteer if no one going to speak.
Okay.
Were there any other roles you needed, Benson? I could double up.
Uh, let's see. So far we are good. Uh, Maggie will be the evaluator one. I didn't hear from her yet, so if you can do the evaluation for Jeff's speech. uh,
Yeah, sounds good. If she's not able to make it, I can be evaluator.
Or we can ask Sonia to be the evaluator.
Sure.
I just see her show up. Sonia, can you do the evaluator for Jeff's impromptu speech?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
I always love your themes, Benson. I feel like there's something to learn either with like AI or robotics.
AI.
um, yeah, robots is my dream while in the childhood, so it's not surprising. There's a robot competition every quarter in Stanford University. Also, there's something in Google Campus as well. It's free basically. You just bring your robot and compete over there.
Is it
That's
like
it.
robotics fighting or is it like
No, 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 no.
okay, I wasn't
It's
sure.
show and tell. It's called the
Okay.
robot show and tell. So
Okay.
you demonstrate your robot, the idea, like somebody demo their robot to open the fridge and take out certain food, and some robots just move on the table without drop down. Just he knows measure the age of the table. Yeah.
Is it like
Lots
a
of kids are there. Yeah, the high school kids, they love that. So basically, they buy some basic stuff and do some program, put some sensors on it.
Can you go and see it even if you don't enter the competition, if you don't have a robot?
No, it's
Just
not a competition. It's just
show and
it's
tell?
something like a
showcase?
secret speaking club. Basically, you show and tell. You don't even to reserve a spot as long as there are people interested. You just like set up your table and put the robots on there, and then you talk about your stuff. It's like show and tell.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. When is it?
Let me look at it because yeah, I I accompanied my son during he was in high school, but I haven't been there for a while now. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I wish I can have that when I in high school.
Yeah, I don't think robotics was well,
Yeah.
I think it was big. I think like for my high school, it wasn't as promoted. Like there wasn't a dedicated robotics club or they're just trying to struggle to find teachers to teach it. The closest thing we had to initial engineering was drafting. Is that like the same thing for yours, Benson, where it's just like it wasn't funded enough or something like that?
Right. The parts, basically the components were not sophisticated, not mature during the time. So right now the modules they're pretty mature. Even you want to like recognize somebody, you can buy the component, but you still need to program that, right? Integrate all the parts into that part. Okay, I think it's time to open our meeting. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good good everything today. Okay, my name is Benson. I'm the Toastmaster of today's meeting. Welcome everybody. And let me introduce today's role first. Confirm today's role first, sorry. So I'm the Toastmaster of the day. Jeff is our general evaluator, and he will do an impromptu speech as well. Vincent is our table topics master, and Sonia will be the evaluator for the first speech. Sid, you will be the timer. So you will time the speech and the table topics. Daniel, you are the Armenian for us. I see, Joanne, welcome. I think, Joanne, you already joined this club, did you?
Yeah.
Yes, I joined recently. Thank
Oh,
you.
welcome.
Welcome.
Excellent. Welcome. Yeah, I think welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Exciting to have new members here.
Yeah, we could
Let's
talk
see.
about the onboarding so we can get you started on that very first icebreaker speech and the future speeches as well.
Yeah, I saw your email this morning, Vincent. I'll get the information filled out on the website.
soon. Looking forward to your icebreak speaking. Okay, so let me see. Today's meeting theme is a question basically. Just want to do some initiation on your mindset. Like when will you get a personal robot? The reason I ask this question is that I had a dream when I was a child to have my own robot, but I didn't achieve that. Haven't achieved that dream yet. Also, somebody may ask, maybe it's too early to ask this question, but I think the world changes dramatically. About 20 years ago, when I was 30, I don't know how to drive. I was in Shanghai, China, and I think my dream was I just wave my hand and the taxi will stop by and I just go with that taxi. Because in Shanghai, it's a big city, something like in New York. So everywhere, every street, you just wave your hand, you get a taxi. And I think that's my dream. I think I've already achieved that. And when I was 80 years old, I just wave my hand, I get a taxi, I can go everywhere. And I didn't realize that once I moved to Canada, I got my own car and I learned how to drive. And now my dream is that when I is old, I might not capable of drive a car. So I hope I just ask my phone, said, okay, I need a car to grocery, and the self-drive car will stop by my house, and I get in the car, I get the grocery, and I buy some stuff. Or maybe I can order a grocery from, no, that's not a good use case example. I go to some park or something like that, I have to personally go there. So that I raised the question about when you think you will get a personal robot. So just keep that in mind, and during your speech or table topics, you can facilitate the scene as well. The word of the today is verbose. The meaning of the verbose is that someone described as verbose is like many words to convey their points and use more words than necessary. Just like what I'm talking right now, I'm pretty verbose while doing this open thing. Yeah, something like that. I hope you understand this. Okay, that's after all, I think we have all information we have for this meeting. Let's welcome our first volunteer speaker, Jeff, to do an impromptu speech. And I believe the time were between 5 to 7 minutes. Jeff.
That's right. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmaster, I do ask questions, a lot of questions. If you consider AI is a robot, or it's called chatbot, then every morning between 4:30, 5:30, whatever, I spend probably more than an hour arguing with AI. And so far, man, I won all the arguments. I mean, every single argument, starting from the question. And then the AI will answer me the question. Answer me, yes, my question. Then I'll keep asking, why, and why, and why. And AI gives up. Not because AI gives up, because no one does the research. So he or she can answer me. Here is one example. I just got it yesterday. My question was, what is our solar system orbiting? It's very simple, right? Milky Way. What is Milky Way orbiting? Or Virgo super cluster? I said, then Chapelet, and then what else? And then all of a sudden say, oh, you know what, Mr. Jeff Chen, the cosmic group, it's called cosmic group, COSMIC group, cosmic group, doesn't do orbiting. And I said, why? Well, you know what? Because our universe is like a spider web. Somehow at this level, they just don't do orbiting. And I say, well, is cosmic group moving around? Say, yes, it does. It is actually. And I say, well, how fast? Well, it moves irregularly. So it's really not easy to tell the speed. And I say, it doesn't make sense. If you put X, Y, Z, or everybody learn algebra, X, Y, Z. You see our solar system, the Milky Way, the Virgo supercluster, Chapelet supercluster, whatever the supercluster, they move like that. 2 billion years, 20 billion years, whatever the time we as a human being can come. So the cosmic group going like this. And I say, okay. Since cosmic group move, can you do a XYZ and then just see the second before and next second? Say, seriously, yes, Mr. Jeff Chen, it is. Well, you're kind of right. And I say, well, tell me if the Chapelet supercluster can move around 12,000 miles a second, 12,000 miles a second. It's really huge, right? Huge than Earth. You got to think about that. So the entire cluster just growing this, right? Or orbiting, just like that. 1 second, 12,000 miles. Then tell me, cosmic group can move, and how fast can it move? Well, I don't know. I say, is that you or our scientist just made up a lot of story? So you don't have answer. Well, I really don't know because I just don't know. I say, you are AI, by the way. And by the way, I was chatting to Gemini's. I haven't really chat with ChatGPT yet or DeepSeek. By the moment, it's about 1 hour later. Right? It's my coffee time, about 6 o'clock. And I came back. I said, well, I really don't think if anything can move that fast and very, very far away. It's like a 10 billion light year away. Some kind of movement, no matter orbiting or going up and down and here and there, you're supposed to measure. And then he was just being really nice, say, Mr. Jeff Chen, yes, I think you're right. And I say, can you ask those scientists been doing research for decades? Can they spend another decade to find out the speed? Say, yeah, I'm gonna tell them. And I say, thank you, because I think they've been lazy. Because no one like Mr. Jeff Chen is so boring in the morning. Before coffee times, the brain is not really working well at the moment. And I just want to lash out. And you know what? the AI now is really the tools that I can lash out, because so far over 10 plus round of the question and answer and question and answers. And I beat them all the time. You know why? As I say, if you're the scientist, certainly I'm not. Somehow there, somebody is fooling around, just stop somewhere. Just like our solar system, and going and going and going to orbiting the cosmic group, and somehow it just stopped. And I want to figure out that why they stop. Because our scientists is not doing their job, but we are doing our job. We meet every Tuesday and practicing bullshitting, just like me. Make you guys pretending you are so serious, listen to me, but that's fine. I don't even get serious. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Great speech again. Okay. Yeah, I like some ideas you're telling. And yeah, different people have different opinions on those AI technology right now. Okay. Let's get into the next session, which is table topics. We can practice more impromptu speech in 1 to 2 minutes. Now let's welcome Vincent to lead us the session.
All right, thanks so much, Benson. For our table topics, it's the 1 to 2 minutes impromptu speaking. What I'll be doing is I'll be sharing the question twice. I'll be giving an opportunity for people to volunteer, but if I don't hear any, I'll just be volunteering and giving chances to people who won't be able to speak today. So first question I had involves, so today's questions overall involve both of the idea of having a personal robot or maybe having a robot that's very verbose and whether or not you'd want that type of robot. First question I had is, if you had a personal robot, what's the first task you'd like to give it? If you had a personal robot, what's the first task you'd like to give it? Seeing no volunteers, I'll ask on Sib to start off. And Sib, I'll be able to time you as a timer.
That's a great question. I've never asked myself that question. I've always hoped to have a robot, but I always thought of them as friends, people to hang out with, and do things with together. I'm sure I would get it to do all the things I don't like doing, like the dishes. I think the dishes come to mind before anything else. And taking out the trash, I mean, cleaning up around the house, obviously, all the dirty job. But beyond that, I think it would be really cool to have a robot as an assistant as I paint, to paint together, get it to do the stuff that I know exactly the process for, so I'm not going to feel like it's taking away my creativity from me, keep the creative tasks for myself. But the more skill-based tasks, yeah, have the robot assisting doing them and just, to do things together. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I haven't been thinking about that much. I guess, discuss but the AIs already do that. Discussing what we know about the world. Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sib. It sounds like you're able to use your robot as a chatting companion, a dishwashing manager, and also to help you with painting, at least with the non-creative tasks. So I think you're using the robot very intentionally. Thank you for sharing with us your first task for your robot companion. Next question I have is, would you trust a robot to take care of your daily life? Why or why not? Would you trust a robot to take care of your daily life? Why or why not? For this question, I'd like to ask Joanne if you'd be up to take this question on. And Sib will be the timer, so you can check their timing in case you see any background changes. Go for it.
Yeah, so will I trust a robot to take care of my daily tasks? So given the current state of robots and I probably wouldn't trust it to do all my daily tasks. I mean, definitely there are some tasks which I would love to outsource to a robot completely, like Sib was referring to, like cooking, dishwashing, doing laundry, taking out the trash and things like that. I would love to outsource that to a robot. And I would love to trust that a robot will be able to do those things. However, there are other tasks that I don't think I would be able to outsource or trust the robot with doing. For example, I've once thought it would be nice to have a robot to respond to my text messages or respond to my emails. I wouldn't necessarily trust the robot to do that at the current state of the technology. I would want some level of intimacy in the text that I send to my family and my friends. And the second thing is that I use ChatGPT quite often because I program a lot. And I do find that sometimes it would either hallucinate, maybe give me something that I didn't ask about or I didn't ask for, or it would just give me a wrong answer, something I know for sure that it is wrong. So definitely I would not feel comfortable trusting a robot with tasks like text, like being able to be a text assistant, but I would love it to do my daily chores. Um, I would love it to be able to think at a high level, but I do not think the technology is at that point yet.
Nice wrap up, Joanne. I appreciate you being able to mention how the current state probably not best for anything else besides chores, which is perfectly fine for me as well. I do agree that keeping the emails intimate is something that we can definitely add as a person, and we don't necessarily need ChatGPT to help out with quite yet, unless they can figure out our role personalities. But we're definitely not there yet. But thank you for sharing that, Joanne. So next question I have is, what would make a robot feel more like a friend than a machine? What would make a robot feel more like a friend than a machine? For this question, Sonia, would you like to give it a shot? Go for it.
A robot isn't going to feel like a friend unless it has the capability to have its own personality, to have its own opinions, to respond with empathy, to be able to interpret a person's emotions and a person's uh, feelings and be able to respond. So that takes empathy. And so a robot is going to have the ability to read humans, even though they're not may not have emotions themselves. It's going to take a very serious jump in intelligence, emotional intelligence. We as humans have a hard time with that anyway. A lot of us do anyway. So to be able to program that, and honestly, okay, so this might be a stereotype, but being a software engineer, I know a lot of software engineers, and not all software engineers are very emotionally intelligent. That's like I said, it's a stereotype. So there are a large number of software engineers who are not emotionally intelligent, and asking software engineers to design and build software intelligence into a robot is going to be a difficult task, and it's going to take a while. So in order to get a robot that is lifelike and can respond to humans the way a standard normal human out in the world or a child could respond to and think it's human like, it's going to take a lot for us to get there. And that's what it's going to take to get an android like human robot out in the world that people will mistake as human, or children could respond to as a human, that could possibly replace a human. We're not there yet. It's going to be a long time before we get there. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that, Sonia. Your talk almost reminded me of how sometimes we can almost describe a human as saying you're too robotic if you don't have the emotional intelligence as well. So it really goes to show that our humanity is kind of based or centered around emotional intelligence. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that, Sonia. Next I have is, if your robot was too verbose, basically it's just chatting away, how would you handle it? If your robot was too verbose, how would you handle it? And maybe you can add on whether you'd want a robot that talks a lot.
Where's the command line?
They're
Off.
shaking their head
Verbose off.
no. Turn everything off afterwards. I'd like to ask, in this case, Brian, since you haven't gotten a chance today.
I understand. As growing up, I really felt that I was a very quiet kid. I think some of us can relate to that, especially if maybe you don't have siblings and there's a lot of quiet time in the house. You might tend to be quiet and stick to your thoughts. I always wondered about this, like really deeply. Why was I a quiet kid? And if I had to point blame, point fingers, I was like, hey, I think my mom talks a lot. And if my mom talks a lot, I'm always listening to her. I'm doing exactly what she says, and I really don't have a chance or opportunity to fill in that space with my own words and ideas. And so, if I imagine now, there might be some people missing that in their lives. Someone who is constantly making noise or a chatterbox in their lives that they could have as a replacement for that noise that they were missing earlier in their lives. If my robot had that switch that says verbose on, verbose off, there might be a time where I'd be like, I really want to hear that chattering noise. Just talk about anything. Boom, turn on. I think a lot of people do have that need to have a podcast on while they're doing chores, mundane things. Just someone talking, maybe talking smack about each other, just banter. Robot, verbose, talk smack to me, and then I'll talk smack back to you, and just having that artificial interaction and not necessarily organic and free flowing human interaction. I think there's a need for it for those certain use cases of those individuals that are missing that noise in their life. I would like to hand it back over to our tabletop master. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Brian. I was struggling to personally find a perspective of like, when would I want someone to talk a lot? But thank you for being able to share that moment for those who might miss that noise in their life. What or it was something that they think of fondly. So thank you for sharing that experience, Brian. Next question I had is, what job do you hope robots never replace? What job do you hope robots never replace? For this one, I'll ask Daniel if you'd be up to give this a shot.
I hope the robot is not replacing anyone's job in the future, but can be add up the efficiency and productivity to help the real human beings on performing their tasks. Because these days, robots is just becoming so common. When you walk into the grocery store, usually there's a line for the self checkout. This is one way using the robot, but you always find a problem like things like you gotta scan the wrong items and you want to adjust the price. Then human being become important criticals at that point. So I do think that robot can basically provides um, and speed up the process and productivity, but at the same time, human beings can be also provide that critical thinkings and giving the necessary decisions to the robot. Same thing like the therapist. Same thing like the or the you when you walk into the restaurants now stay that they ask you to scan the QR code. Sometimes that restaurant even use the robot to serve you the water, but you lost that sense of the hospitalities and that smile from the human beings, right? It's not feeling the same anymore. But I hope that it's not robot is not replacing anyone's job. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you for sharing that sentiment, Daniel. Sounds like we never like it sounds like that want or that to keep that connection or that want to keep that warmth, especially for service-based industries like going to a restaurant or doing checkout. Sometimes I forget that one-on-one interaction for someone helping you check out the groceries sometimes really make your day depending on who they are. So thank you for sharing that thought. Next question I'll ask Benson. So imagine it's the year 2050. So several years have passed and you've had a personal robot. How has that changed your life? Imagine it's the year 2050. How has your personal robot changed your life?
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent, for the question. So 2050, that's 25 years later. I'm approaching 80 at a time. Hard to imagine what my health condition will be at 80. But look on my dad's current situation, it's kind of not optimistic. I don't know. But if I can have a personal robots after 25 years, I wish I can uh, do the daily like work with this loop. So I wish it can help my intelligence level at the time, not the EI, but the real intelligence. I can ask him to help me use the new technology at the time. That's, I think, my most desirable skill it can help me. Like I can ask, what is this? How can I use it? Why I need to use that? Right now, the most feature I use on my phone is the thing like I take a picture, whatever picture, then I upload it to the AI and let it explain to me what this is used for. And I use it. I think it's very successful right now for me at least. I got the English version and I asked him or her to translate into Chinese so I can see both versions just by take a picture. So now my phone is really busy. I have lots of picture now. If from certain items in the grocery, like cheese, I know nothing about cheese. Now I'm pretty familiar with the cheese. Also, I helped my wife to pick the masks, the facial stuff. I have no idea about that. Right now, I just take a picture, even on the Korean language. I got English and Chinese. I can figure out which one might be better. We can start. Back to table topics, master.
Thank you for sharing that, Benson. It sounds like throughout your years or the next 25 years, it'll be filled with just constant learning or trying to figure out how do you constantly adapt to technology and how can AI help me consistently learn? Well, not necessarily emotional intelligence, but trying to expand your knowledge. So thank you for sharing that with us and how we could potentially use AI in our lives right now. So thank you for sharing that. All right, that concludes the table topic session of how we would incorporate robots into our lives. Heard a lot of different ideas, such as using it mostly for chores or maybe perhaps it acting as a companion, but not to the point where it would impact our creativity. Heard stories about the importance of having a robot and not waiting until it develops emotional intelligence before we can consider it as a friend, to being able to use it as a space to fill in noise. And there's a lot of different ideas that we've heard throughout today's meeting. So thank you for sharing your stories with us. I'd now like to return the control back to our Toastmaster of the day, Benson, to help introduce the next section of the meeting. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent, for the excellent table topic session. As always, we need to hear feedbacks from our peers. Also, we need to practice how to give feedbacks to our peers as well. So we are getting to the evaluation session. I hope our general evaluator is back from something looked like an accident. Jeff, are you still there? Once? Twice? Okay, seems Jeff is in some technical issue. I can be the temporary general evaluator for now once he's back. So the general, the evaluations that involves give feedbacks. The first session is to give feedback to our speakers. Now we have Sonia to give feedback to Jeff. Hope he can hear. Sonia.
Hopefully he can hear. Jeff gave us another wonderful story. He often does that. This week's story was about his arguments with Chat GPT or other chat generation generative AIs. I believe he said this week's was with Gemini. He gave us a very verbose sort of long story and build up and how he was trying to define the universe. And then he came to a point where he said that he got Gemini to agree to ask astrophysicists to measure the orbit of the cosmic group. Now, that seems a little unrealistic because which astrophysicist is he going to ask that to do that? Which I'm pretty sure most of his speech was in jest. So I really thought that was funny. So I'm hoping it was supposed to be a humorous speech. And that wasn't supposed to be taken wholly seriously. But I did very much enjoy it, and a few parts of it really did make me laugh. So I wanted to give kudos to that, to the humorous portion of it. Not only was it a sort of informative speech for anyone who didn't know the different portions of our universe and how we fit into it, but he also added a lot of humorous pieces to it. So I thought it was kind of both intellectual but yet funny. So that was really great that he added those pieces into it. Parts of what I the only thing I would have liked to have seen more with his speech would be, more uses of the physical, more verbal intonation, that, more body language, just because but it's really hard because he was on a cell phone. So those sorts of things are kind of hard to really portray when you're on a phone because you're such a small screen. But those would be the types of things I would ask for him to add. Especially if he was in person, he could add. It's much easier to add those types of things. I tend to talk with my hands, especially when I'm on a screen like this size. But those would be the types of things I would expect he'd be able to add if he was talking in person, so that it would his story would come across more. But I really believe that he did a wonderful job with his story. He always tells us great stories, and he always helps keep the audience engaged in them. So again, he did a wonderful story yet again, and kept me engaged with not only his intellectual subject matter, but also being able to bring the humor into it this time. So thank you, Jeff. Really appreciated the story this week. Back to you.
Thank you, Sonia, for the great evaluation. Let's call on Daniel for the Armenian report. Daniel.
Thanks, Vincent. Everyone had a really great speech today. I really enjoy what Jeff's speech to start with, and then in a very short time, he was able just to do this impromptu speech really well. I didn't hear any R words in his speech, so that is good. I only hear this one R words from Sip. So, and also myself too. I probably did too. I realized after I spoke to everyone, and so other than that, I think that everyone did a great job, and there's no language or grammar issues as what I heard. So good job, everyone.
Thank you, Daniel, for the Armenian report. Sib, do you give us a timers report?
Yes, I am going to paste the times in the chat as we usually do.
Okay.
Let me. Okay, well, I wanted to leave space, but never mind. So I think, yeah, everyone was on time. Jeff went over time a little bit. Other than that, everybody was on time.
Cool. Thank you, Sid, for the detailed time report. So yeah, I always think time is important. If you want to talk about like those speech without a time limit, you can keep talking. There's no points you can make. And if you are limited to 1 minute to talk about point, that'll be really challenge. I heard the training you tell about your point while you drive around the elevator, so that you give some really important people really important points just in the elevator. I think that is very challenge. So yeah, I think timing is good. Okay, other than that, I'll do the general evaluation for our overheated Jeff's phone. Yeah, as always, our meeting is always great. It's like a gym exercise every week. Just practice not only the mouth, also the brain, and I sometimes I'm really eager to get this time to see everybody here. I feel like it's a friendship, like family style talking. Like I with some of the members here more than 5 years now, so it's become really very emotional in that during the time. So I really like this atmosphere in this meeting. We start the meeting on time, and we do the time control very good. I think we can end the meeting at the time as well. I appreciate that. And every people take their roles seriously and also successfully. Like during the role play, I think you always focus on certain skill set and you practice that part and getting better, getting improved. And also you look at other people play the same rule or similar rule you did last time or previously. You learn that from those people as well. So I think this is very, very important. while you do this club meeting at a weekly basis. So I appreciate that. And the things we can improve is I think we can get more prepared speech because our club has a special specialty on impromptu speech, especially thanks to Jeff, I believe. So this is good. We can also get some prepared speech. For that, I will deliver a speech next week. So I'll resolve that role, and we have to set the roles for next meeting. Jeff will automatically become the postmaster because he's the general evaluation in this meeting. This is our traditional culture in this club. Who gonna be the GE for next meeting? Any volunteers?
I'll do a
About
speech next week.
excellent. We have two speakers. Who are interested in the table topics, master? Table topics? That's an easy one. The good thing is you can give people different interesting questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can.
practice active listening too.
Uh,
It's good.
I see that Daniel will be the yeah.
Yes,
Basically, Daniel, you can ask them some personal questions. That would be very interesting as well. I have been asked a couple of interesting personal questions, and that's really challenge. Okay, we have two. Anybody want to do the evaluator? We have two speakers, so we need two evaluators
I
next
can help
meeting.
with an evaluation.
Okay, Brian and Vincent. Okay. Okay, we are still need for G. We can do that offline. So yeah,
Yeah, and Joanne, if you wanted to try this particular role, like timer or Marian or counter / grammarian, let us know. We can send you a few details on the roles.
Okay, yeah, so that's
yeah,
what I was gonna just ask is I'm not really sure what the roles are.
yeah.
And I don't really know what the green and the yellow and the red mean.
Yeah.
For the
Oops,
timer.
Oh yeah, we can.
that's my bad. I should have said that.
No, it's my fault. I
Oh,
supposed to
it's just
ask the roles to describe their roles in our regular meetings, but I didn't realize. Yeah, Joanne is new to here. I supposed to do that in the meeting. So no worries. We will do that every meeting basically. Ask the role to describe what their roles is, like what the task is. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's not this club is very flexible, so we can decide the roles just before next meeting, and we have offline channels as well. We have emails and WhatsApp. So
Yeah, no,
Joanne is in our WhatsApp list. Is she
I don't
the
think
WhatsApp
Joanne's in
list?
our WhatsApp yet. So Joanne, I'll go send
Yeah.
you a meeting invite, and then you could add yourself if you have a WhatsApp. Otherwise, we could send email notifications as well. Most of
Yeah,
our
we have
staff are
email
17s.
groups and WhatsApp. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Please set up. Yeah, thank you, Vincent. Please set up Joanne to our groups.
yeah,
Other
definitely.
than that, cool. Yeah, I have nothing now. I can put the control to our president, Brian, see if he has any comments, announcement, or any other business.
Guess formally hands change, but Brian will still have you as the president for now until we finalize all the roles, if that works.
Yeah, I do think we could take a couple minutes right now just to give everyone a heads up on what's happening. So we didn't really have elections uh, this past month, but we did have to assign club officers and nominations / appointments. So I would say this is tentative, and I also would say that I know these officer positions sound really intense, like being president sounds crazy, but you can put as much into the position as you need to or want to, and the club will still survive because we're a pretty established club, established in 2007, and lots of long time members. We have some great people that I would say, or continuing to inspire and contribute to the club. So, president, I have Daniel as appointed, and we have Sib as president, vice president of education. We have vice president membership, Sonia, because Sonia was always down to fill in for with Spy. I would say vice president of public relations is be Sanuj, and secretary with Vincent. Treasurer is myself, and sergeant at arms would be Jeff. And we have more members than we have these officer positions, so any of these can be swapped out for another member.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, thanks for nominating me as a president. I was gonna say that I'm little swamped lately of my job schedule, and I may not be able to I mean, I can take the role, but I mean, I know that it also require the commitments of, contributing to the club. But right now, I don't feel like that I can fully supporting, on the tasks if I'm be the president. So I don't know exactly that what needs to be, what needs to be done or handles as a president's role. But as I just noticed, in the last couple months, I'm not able to join for all the meetings and didn't get um, uh, probably follow up with uh, the speakers or guest. So my bad on that, but I just feel like this is something that if I need to take on like specific tasks, I mean I might not be the great person to do that. But I still like to contribute if nobody else is taking the role though.
I totally understand, Daniel, of like where you're coming from. You're not going to be totally focused on just doing the position to its fullest. And I know we want to feel good about what we commit to, and we do want to put our best foot out there. And we're not just doing an officer position or filling an officer's position for ourselves. We're doing it for the club and for the other members. I totally understand where you're coming from. I struggle with this forever. I've been here for 11 years and I've seen it all. So no worries, I get it. Is there any other member here that would like to take the role of president or any nominations for other members?
Actually, I would encourage Daniel to keep the president position. I've been the club president for I think 3 times or 4 times now. From my experience, you take the task regardless, and then you schedule like less than 30 minutes every week. You just put 30 minutes there. You just focus on this whatever task and no more than 30 minutes to do that required thing like review the club or I think it's not a big deal. So I would really encourage Daniel to do that. And I can be your contact person whenever you feel like, okay, I really don't have much time this week or this month or even whatever. I'll take it over. How about that, Daniel?
Sure. Yeah, if, I can try my best to
Yeah, just do it.
be
You're still
yeah.
young. Yeah, 30 minutes is nothing. And I think you will learn a lot from there. As the president, you will have some training from distriction. And it's just like 2 hours training, but you know a lot of people and you see different angles from this international wide organization. So,
Yeah, I think that's fine. Let me so I can give a try.
yeah, let's do
Like I said, I won't be able contribute it. I mean, I can contribute it. I won't be able to, you know, handle everything's
it.
in my during my schedule. Then I will, I will have you to help me out or somebody else to cover me though.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be there. And the other people, as Brian or Vincent, yeah, they all know.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to thank you for nominating me as Vice President of Education, and I'll do my best. Um, is there a person I can have as a contact person to ask questions regarding the role and give me advice? I'm a mentoring basically,
Yeah, you can
if
ask me too.
needed. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I was gonna say the same thing. You can talk to either one of us.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
I can reach out and then give you a brief overview about the VP role. There's also going to be a
Nice.
upcoming training as well, so you'll be able to take a look into that.
Okay.
There's a few different ways you can expand the VP role as well. So if you ever hear what the role description is and you're like, I want to like make it a little bit bigger, I want to expand it or add more to it, feel free to. Like what Brian was mentioning, it's like our club is very flexible. You can add whatever you'd like to it, test out a few ideas. It's mostly a learning lab, is what I try to mention when you're in Toastmasters. So think of it as like this is your organization. What would you personally want to do, or how would you like to see the club grow in this way?
Thank you.
And also you'll be learning a lot too, so you'll be expanding on your own experience, especially in education. So now you know it ins and outs in education, and you can grow in that sense here at Toastmasters. So it's cool. It's a lot of benefit. And like I said, like
Mm.
Vincent said, learning lab. I love how you put that. Vincent, it is a learning lab here, especially in securely speaking Toastmasters, that you can experiment, try different things, and learn. There really is no failure because we're all so chill. So we're not gonna rise up with pitchforks or anything because you missed an email. Yeah, we're cool.
Thank you.
Cool. That's awesome. And I guess the other one that we didn't really address was VP of membership. And I know Sonia, you said that you would volunteer for
Yeah, I've done the role before. I'll connect with Vincent later to go over the different systems we have in place with Google and
that was
Meetup and all that.
definitely automated. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I just have to make sure I have, access to stuff so that I can see it all.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
sounds
I
good.
can follow up with guests and things. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I feel really confident and glad to hear this from you. I saw a
Time check?
wave. Time
Yeah.
check. Are we good? 1 o'clock. Okay, I'd like to hand it back over to our Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. The last task, to take a picture.
Okay.
Yeah. So this we record every time we do the meeting. So 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay. I'll see you next week. Everybody have a great week.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you.
Have a good
See
one.
you.
Bye.
That
Bye.